Hi, this is Paul Palmer with.
This is Natasha Todorovic Cowan. And who's your friend,
I
Paul?
was here today with the Invisible Man. We're talking to him about how he gets ignored for his promotions and how he finds that he does all the work and nobody ever recognizes what he's done. And the reason I thought we'd talk to him today is because it's actually an experience that I had when I think I was trying to get my first job leaving the laboratory. So when I first started, I was in medicinal products. So it wasn't medical products, it was. So it was medical devices, pharmaceuticals, and then we had cosmetics and toiletries and casting products as well. And when I went out on I'd just finished my degree. I'd probably done it for a year. I'd done a year after my degree, and I wanted to change roles. And there was an opportunity came up, and when I when I at the interview, one of the closing statements he made was, "If you hadn't applied, I wouldn't have even considered you." And it made me realise that even though you're there and you're in the manufacturing or you're in the office or wherever, unless you actually put your hand up, you're invisible to a lot of people. Just like this guy here, he's doing all the work, but nobody says well done. Nobody says, "Oh, can I borrow your glasses?" or "Would you like a new pair?" Nobody says, "What is it that I can do for you today?" or congratulates him for a job well done. It's just they're just invisible. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, it's quite a common problem.
Is he complaining to you? Or is he just kind of suffering in silence in the
Suffering
background?
in silence.
Mm,
Absolutely. And I was, I think we mentioned him quite a few weeks back. Another guy, he was completed his PhD, if you remember, and he was on the production line doing the boxes from one place to the next because there was a bit of the conveyor didn't work. So we were manufacturing this pharmaceutical product, and we had this guy there with a PhD who could have probably designed the machine from scratch. And he was picking up the box there, and because we didn't have the bit of corner bit that we needed, picking it up there and putting it down there all day, 8 hours. And
this,
nobody spoke to him. Nobody asked him how he was doing. He just came in, got the money, looking after his family, and doing anything that he could get. But to everybody else around him, he was just another temp that nobody was really paying any attention to.
and that's actually a fairly common phenomenon, Paul. We've worked on probably 5 continents, 15 different countries, and in our data, we've been gathering for over 2 decades. That phenomenon is actually increasing rather than decreasing.
Yeah,
That people are trying to put their full hearts, minds, souls into the work. They want to be recognized for their talents. They want to be recognized for their contributions, and they're feeling very invisible. And
yeah.
so, you're not alone. I'm not alone, and our poor invisible man isn't alone.
He's not alone, and he's got a lot of other people that are just as invisible with him, I would think. It's but the bit that I suppose I don't know if it irritates or frustrates me, I'm not sure. Um, but the people get passed over when it comes to training for their own personal development. They get somebody that somebody's got a preference for gets the training and they get more and they get more and they get more. And somebody else that they've yeah, they're still on the books, they're still on the job description and whatever, but they don't pay any attention. As if they literally just walk past them and they're not there. Um, it's very strange way to be. And I don't think I've ever been in that position myself because I always stick my hand up and make a load of noise. And
Well, you know what? You might make a lot of noise. But so this was actually part of my TEDx talk. And even people who know us the best often miss this deeper core of who it is we are. And we miss that in others. So there's a way of connecting to what is deeper and more alive and the skill and the talent in others that's really missing. And organizations, if their employees are showing up at 30, 40% of their capacity, which is what we measured over the years, then the organizational performance is suffering because there's another 50, 60, 70% potential in that organization that can be grown. And it's like fruit falling off the trees and just rotting on the ground. That's what that invisible person means to an organization. That's what
Yeah.
it means to a team. That's what it means to relationships.
I can really relate to that because I remember being I was doing 2 days a week just doing batch release. And when I joined the organization, I had a load of projects that I'd agreed and lined up, and I got to the end of all the projects and there wasn't anything more for me to do. So I was sitting there doing the basic work when I could have been helping them redesign the QMS, validation work, all sorts of different things. I just got bored and left.
And that's why a lot of people are shuffling organizations. And as we come back from this thing, if you don't have the top talent in those empty seats, your competitors are going to get that top talent. And it's one thing to get the top talent, it's another thing to get them performing, and it's another thing to get them to keep them. And so all of those pieces have to be in place in order for organizations to thrive, for teams to thrive, for leaders to thrive, and for a workforce to be fully functioning.
It's a good point because I've been much more selective about contracts and work that I was willing to consider over the last 3-4 months than ever before. And because I've enjoyed being able to work from home, being able to log in remotely and do the work because it's necessary. Because there isn't a choice. The office is closed.
And you know what? Organizations are going to suffer because if we are not making ourselves into the kinds of organizations and teams and people that others want to work with, then consultants and trainers and coaches and service providers and suppliers are not going to choose to be working with you. So we've got to make ourselves, we've got to up level ourselves to be the kind of person that other people want to support, to be the kind of organization that consultants want to support, and to see the potential in others so that we can grow it. So I know that was a little ramble, but I love that invisible man, and I love that theme of the invisible person because that is what's shown up in our data. And I'm looking forward to sharing the TEDx talk, Paul.
Yes, another week or two, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm waiting. I can't wait until they release it. They won't tell us when they're going to release it.
So how are you going to find out? Are they just going to tell you and then it'll be there the next day?
Yeah, Ted's going to post it and suddenly we're going to find out about it. So I'll let you know.
Cool. Sounds good. Okay. That's it for today then. That's Paul Palmer and
Natasha Todorovic-Cowan with our friend, the Invisible Man. Don't be invisible.
the Invisible Man.
And don't make others invisible.
I think that's more important, to be honest, is pay attention to others around you. Don't imagine they're not there.